Hi, good afternoon, good evening. It is Stacey Bryce Washington with shiftHER. I am so excited today because we're having Ron Jones, aka Big Ron Jones, on the live tonight. Super duper excited. He is amazing. I chose him, this is the first time we've had a man on. And I chose him specifically because his style of communicating on social is so next level, and especially as it relates to health and wellness, fitness, nutrition, etc. So I just thought it appropriate that he jump on here. Additionally, he did a whole video about menopause and so eloquently and scientifically explained it and how to get at it from a fitness perspective. And it was so simple and basic. But again, I appreciated how thoughtful and empathetic he was about it. So we're going to have him on. It is exciting. I am excited to have him on today. Got my questions. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Okay. What is this? Oh, I didn't know you could do that. Okay. So I'm very excited. It will be very good. I think everybody's gonna love him, and he's very interesting. And maybe if people would like to have an online trainer, it will work for them, right? But he's definitely got the goods. Educated, knowledge base is vast as it relates to health, wellness, fitness, nutrition. Ron Jones is a bodybuilder, okay? And knows what it's like to push the body to the fullest. So super excited to have him on. Hello. Hi, boo. Where you been? Haven't seen you or heard from you in forever. I'm so glad. Oh, look at Ron Jones is on. Look at that. This guy is ready to rock. And I love you too, my Shauna. Here I come, Ron. There he is. Look, on
Hey,
time, ready to go. Look,
ready to
okay?
go.
Ready to go. Okay, I was like, I'm going to be on here. He is not going to be chasing me. That's not happening. Not with Big Ron Jones. No,
No, we're
no.
good. We're good. I just rolled out of a live myself, and then we went into a Zoom. It's interesting because these lives are cool, but when you're doing it by yourself, people don't realize that you're talking to yourself the whole time, and you're reading comments and the questions box. And because me and you both have our careers rooted in dealing with real humans, it is more interesting to talk to real humans, not just reading comments. So doing that Zoom just now was super interesting because I was able to actually put face to these common names who we deal with on a regular basis anyways.
Which then shows you how vested people are. How
Exactly. Taking the
about
additional
that?
step. There it goes. Simply clicking on Instagram Live is easy. But when you actually have to open up and go to a Zoom app, it's different. It's different that way there. But it definitely was, like I say, it harkens back to how I was when I was in the gym, actually dealing with the real person. A big drawback to what I do now being online is I don't get a chance to talk to real world people. And I actually like people.
You're
So
doing a
hearing
great
real,
job at it, though. Let me tell you something. Uh, Let me just cut you off right there.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
doing a phenomenal job, guys. If you don't know him, this is Big Ron Jones. Ron Jones, aka I like to say it this way, Ron Jones, aka Big Ron Jones. All right, get into it, everybody. Right?
There it
This guy
goes.
is the real deal, and I have to tell you that again. I've been working out my whole life, right?
Hmm.
Chasing a dream, right? Like you chase, chase, chase. This is the story of a woman, which you should not be doing, but I'm just telling you, right? And when I saw you, I said, "Oh my goodness, this guy is like." I think I appreciated how dialed in you are, right, with the science of it all. My trainer, right, the trainer I have right now, Jocelyn Jackson, she's very much the same, dialed in, like every movement. She's like, there's a reason why we do this. Do it right, and we're not going to move on until we get it right.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. That's what it's about.
And
That's what
that's
it's
what I
about.
appreciated
Absolutely, I appreciate
about you.
that big time. Again, it's because we did this in the real world, and translating the real world to the actual, huh? Use my card, please, over here. See, I'm a real person with a real life.
How about that?
Use my card over there, the blue card, Amex, or that one, doesn't matter, any one of those. But having to be able to, and Lydia, please no more distractions from me, please, man. We get this thing going, all right? You got to leave. 10-year-old. So what happens is being able to deal with the real world, but translate to the online space is what's happening now. And I'm just so happy that, well, that it's here. I'm not dealing with one person or small group, but potentially thousands or millions. You just never know
You're
who's just
doing a
gonna
great job.
who's
You're
gonna
doing I mean, like, it's
so
phenomenal. And if I didn't have a trainer, and honestly, because you have to be disciplined. Okay, so guys, here's the deal with Ron Jones here. Okay, so he's an online trainer. He is a bodybuilder. He is educated in everything related to the body, how to maximize your potential, how to really get results. But don't be intimidated by the bodybuilder hearing that, because he's focused on your goals. Everybody's an individual, right? And everybody's going to get there. Am I saying that right, Ron
You're
Jones?
100% right. Sometimes seeing my personal hobby as a bodybuilder may throw people off. That's my personal bodybuilder, Ron Jones. That's not Ron Jones, the learned personal trainer. If I was to be doing model ships on the side, that's just my hobby on the side. I'm not showing you how to do model ships. I'm here as a personal trainer. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The same way myself. It just happens that my world as a bodybuilder, the extreme discipline,
Mm-hmm.
many of the tenets translate into the everyday person, to include the demographic who I spent the most of my career steeped in. So I've had to make sure in recent content, let it be known, I am the trainer of that Generation X millennial, that woman who is 40 plus. She is the one who I've been training my whole life, which is interesting though, because now that I'm actually at that point myself,
Yeah.
at crossing
Yeah.
40, who I was teaching and helping and talking to that whole time is now my own wife, my own colleagues, my own peers. We're there now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it hit a little different. Of course, I know the sciences. I've applied the sciences. I've lived the menopausal life vicariously through hundreds of clients. But this time, the real world experience of andropause, menopause, is hit a little different. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, yeah, yes, it hits different in a very explosive way, right? Like I mean, from personal experience, at 52 years old, and that's one of the reasons why this is what triggered me with you. I'm scrolling on Instagram at 6:30 in the morning, and here I see a video, somebody going into detail, a bodybuilder. This is all I'm seeing. I don't know anything about you, okay? A bodybuilder going into detail about menopause. And I'm going to quote you. Let me get it right. You said, wait, I want to get it right, that you specifically said that all you're doing is changing it up, right? Like, don't turn it into something else. All you're doing is making adjustments. And that hit me like a ton of bricks, right? And so that's why I wanted to have you on here, because I really feel like there are huge gaps in personal training where women, especially for women, okay, that all of a sudden, because it happened to me, I was in the best shape of my life. I had never seen my shoulders, biceps, triceps. I mean, it was crazy. I was like, whoa, this is really happening. And I didn't know what was happening. I had no clue at all. Okay. And I had a trainer at the time. Okay. No clue. And everybody's like, you're too young. I was like, what? Okay. So I left it alone. So I feel like I need you to say those words. Like, so here I am, I call you, I reach out and take your, what is that, step one plan, right?
Yep,
I
absolutely.
call you, Ron Jones, I'm menopausal, right? I've gained 30 pounds and I need your help. Go.
Here we go.
What do we do? What
So
does
my
that look
first thing
like?
is everything we deal with is bound to three keys:
Okay.
cardio, strength training, and recovery. These three things will always be in place. LeBron James, Oprah Winfrey, my mom, my dad, my wife, anyone, these three things. Now, for you specifically, because you are already in a game plan to reach your goal, now that you have reached the first signs of perimenopause, I need to hear specifically what three things you already have in place. And if you don't, that's fine. As what I do in composing or putting together your journey is to put these three things in place. But if they're already in place, as it was for you, I want to now walk through those three things. First, I want to hear from you what your cardio plan is like. Your cardio, tell me how much is it? What we don't realize is that as we begin to age and reach that perimenopausal point in life, cardio is not your best friend.
No.
This is not time to become a cardio queen. That is not what we're after. What we are instead pursuing of is our muscle mass. Because right now, that is the one thing that is trying to flee you at a rapid rate, is that muscle mass. But that muscle mass is so valuable because you have spent 30 plus years, 40 plus years forging, building, putting that muscle in place. If you can see these muscles or not, trust me, they're there. They will begin to subside, decline, go away as your body deals with the ebbs and flows of what we know as estrogen.
Mm-hmm.
Your body's trying its hardest to hold on to it, and it's going to do so by getting rid of the highest expenditure. The highest expenditure of fat or calories is going to be muscle mass. And your body says, oh, hold on. 45 perimenopausal you needs to keep fat. You know why? Because fat's where I'm going to store this estrogen at. So let's
Right.
get rid of anything that's going to get rid of this fat. You know what I mean? So it
Mm-hmm.
starts to naturally want to decline in muscle mass while it's causing itself to increase in that fat mass. But this time, that fat mass, it isn't where it once was. No longer is going to be in the same
So,
place.
guys,
This is a lot more in
you know
this
what you
hormonal place
said,
now, right?
right? But I want to emphasize something you said. Cardio is not necessarily your
It
best
is not
friend, right?
not necessarily. It is not your best friend at this point in
That's
time.
right. Full stop.
It is necessary for cardiovascular health,
Correct.
but not for your goals of what we are doing right now.
Right, because we're
We are
trying to
trying
get rid
to
of surgery.
recomposition and keep your body composition proper. And you
Okay.
putting yourself into long bouts of cardio is not conducive to our number one goal, which is trying to remain what I was preaching about a second ago, which is anabolic. There's two places you're pretty much in: anabolic or catabolic. Anabolic means your body is keeping, building, fortifying, keeping that muscle mass. Catabolic, your body's trying to downsize that muscle mass. We don't want to ever be in a place of being catabolic, which means the lie that me and you were both sold in the 90s and early
Right.
2000s
Right.
of simply
Yes.
trying to lower
Mm-hmm.
calories and get active
Correct.
is actually not true. It's not. Even the science of simple calories in versus calories out is not true. The calories coming in can benefit you exponentially. The calories coming into your life, I need to know that they are benefiting you on their way to being simple energy, which means I want to have a nutritionist meal plan. Protein should account for these calories. Carbohydrate in a complex form should account for this energy, and fat, healthy fat. We were sold that fat was bad. Fat's actually what you need. Fat's what's going to keep your endocrine system, that's your hormone system, in proper place.
So Ron, I just got a message. This is how live this thing is. So people are texting me now because okay, this is
Here
how
we
okay because people don't want
go.
to be out on Front Street, right? So I have my male friends texting me now, like, is he going to get to the men? And I'm like, well, first of all, we can have Ron back and talk about the men. But listen, it's the base. The premise is basically the same. No,
The same concept will still hold true. It's just that right now, when it comes to our ladies, andropause, menopause, they're both a decline in sexual hormone.
correct.
But to be real with you, men don't have the dramatic or same symptoms as women do when that sexual hormone begins to decline. So men might see muscle mass perhaps not come on as easy, the ability to gain fats a little quicker, erectile, not dysfunction, but not rigidity, not quite the same, but it's nowhere near the same as sitting in your own home pouring sweat.
Right, right.
Emotionally, you're wondering what's going on with your own self. Hair thinning, nails thinning, nowhere near the same as what a woman goes through. So we have to, of course, fight symptoms. That's all we're doing during andropause and menopause, is we're fighting symptoms the whole time. But ultimately here, we speak to our women because at the same point in life, which is 40 and forward,
Yes.
it's a little more pressing to our women versus our men. But no, both of us will deal with the decline of sexual hormone,
Right.
menopause, and andropause.
Right. And with men, it's, I mean, clearly it's not estrogen, right? It's not this, it's testosterone. But women also lose, like, I am, because I won't deal with these symptoms. I don't have time for it, right? So I do take HRT. I take estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone transdermally. And literally, it was like night and day. Like, literally, it was like one day I started, and a day later, I was like, whoa. Like, my energy came back. It was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Right? Because I was like on the edge. Like, I was like, what is really happening? Like, I'm still 30 pounds up, right? Because I'm fighting for dear life to get these. I'm like, dear life, right? But I can see that one thing you said, because I combed your, let me tell you something, I combed your
I'm
social
with it.
media, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, because I'm like, I'm obsessed. Like, this guy is amazing, right?
With it. I'm
And
with
you
it.
said something about, you were talking to Dr. Sheila, okay, who I love, and I want to get her on here immediately.
Soon.
Um, you were talking about, you can't. You said, get your mind, when you decide to take your journey, get your mind right. And you said, stop comparing yourself to your yester self. I about fell out. I said, wait a minute. Because let me tell you something. I spend a lot of time, and I'm sure most women on here can agree, and men, right, can agree, that you spend time looking at what you used to be and what it was, right? And how, ooh, I could see my shoulders were looking so good. My abs, they were coming through right, right? All these things. And you know what? I didn't crave the sugar like I do now. Like, I mean, I just removed it. Like, I was like, I don't need it, right? I didn't need the, meaning crazy sugar, not like fruit and things of that nature, right? I didn't need it, right? And I used to spend time looking at these pictures and these videos, like, Stacy, ooh. And I realized, I was like, this isn't healthy.
Mm-mm.
And when you said that, I said, oh, okay. So we need to
And
all stop it, right, Ron? Right?
absolutely. And it's all contingent on this one premise. Comparison is the thief of joy, even in comparison to yourself. So comparing yourself to yester month, yesteryear, yester decade, you're just setting yourself up for absolute failure. But you can still be the greatest you. We have not lowered the bar. It's just that where we are now has a different presentation.
I love
Granted, you did look, let's say, a little more. I might have had more of a sexual appeal when I was 26 years old to the world. I was
okay.
broke though, and my mind wasn't quite the
How
same.
about
So if I
it?
want to compare something, let's really compare it. You know what I mean? Let's really compare what's happening here. We should not look to line item compare ourselves because we are definitely different. Physically, we are different. Mentally, we are different. Our expectations and experiences are different. But I really hate to see us comparing ourselves, especially our women, to our previous selves.
It's a
We're the
nightmare.
same person. We're just capitalized into having more to it than just that. Does that make sense
It,
as well?
it makes perfect sense. But I will tell you, and just to be very transparent, it doesn't feel like that, right? It feels like, why can't I lock in? Why can't I get that back? And here's the thing, right? Again, I'm very clear. I'm better now today than I was then. Now, I physically on the outside, whew, like, okay, I got right on into it. But I'm better as a human being today. Now, do I want to get to the fitness level that I had? Would I love to see my abs like all the way back? I mean, yes, but I think I'd rather have my emotional and spiritual things in place. But for me, health is the and wellness is the foundation. To me, is a huge foundation. Like, you can't have. I mean, if you're not healthy and well, you're not going to live long. And all I talk about is longevity, right?
Absolutely.
What's going to happen 20 years from now when I'm 72 years old, right? I can't have frigid bones. I need to have as much muscle as I possibly can, right? I must. And I can't get there walking down the street. But I also can't get there looking at the pictures from 2019, 2020, 2021, and the rest of it. I can't do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I will say this as well, though, which is very interesting. is the information age that we're living in now. We have so many options of information coming in, so many alternative sources for news and information that we are actually going to be able to, as Dr. Sheila says, rival our health span with our lifespan by way of what we know now. We did not know the advantages of, you said a second ago, HRT,
Right.
right? So now that you do know this in this era and you're using your platform, which is a relatively new platform,
Right.
Instagram came online in 2014, so less than a decade old technology, but you're using your platform to speak to thousands, potentially millions of women who look just like you, who need to hear this from you. They
Right.
heard the old information that came out in the 90s that said HRT was bad. Look out for that. And they went on information for decades to come
Right.
until of recent time, because of the information spread, you have said, hey, ladies, check this out. I use the HRT based on what my physician told me, and my world changed. By no means am I telling any of us that we have to go the HRT route,
No.
but we do know that that is definitely valuable option. So, in now current time, we stand a chance at aging even better. Like I told you earlier,
Yep.
health span rivaling our lifespan, which means my 52-year-old body is going to feel healthy. I'm not just going to be here. I don't want to just be on earth if I can't enjoy it.
Was
I do not want to be on earth if I can't enjoy earth. But we can actually enjoy our time here. We can do that by what we've learned and know. I'm sorry, I'm starting to preach here. Go
no,
for it.
no, no. But I mean, we have all this education, right? I speak to this all the time. We have a lot of education, right? More than we've ever had. A lot of information. Education is different than information, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we also have a lot of information,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think the problem is that we need more of you, right? Like we need to duplicate you because I think people, the only way to make a change is to vest, right? And get locked into the process. The only reason why I understand food is because of my trainer from Body by Kareem Smith. He educated me on food and food quality, right? You did a video about this too. Everybody can't afford to do whatever. I'm speaking about Stacy, right? That food quality matters. If you shift on the food quality, right? It's gonna things your body's gonna process that different. Even if you are eating sugar, it'll be it versus high fructose corn syrup, right? Eating something that has real sugar in it makes a difference versus high fructose corn syrup,
Absolutely.
right? And I learned that, so that was good information. The bad information, like you said, HRT, whatever, right? Like it's not good. It's not. Women shouldn't be taking testosterone. Dumb. Women shouldn't be taking creatine. Dumb. Like I mean, all you know what I'm saying? Like just dumb things that aren't helpful
Yeah.
to move you forward.
Absolutely. So the information age is definitely also the misinformation age. But the good thing again is with you utilizing your platform, I myself utilizing my platform. My biggest thing here is to make sure I'm talking to the right people. Me sitting around amongst my colleagues, am I educated? Do I have the knowledge and experience to talk to next to anybody out here? Yes, I can. But let me tell you something. I don't care to talk to that knowledgeable personal trainer or to that physician over there. You know why? Because you are my target audience.
Right.
I would literally be doing an about face and talking to the choir if I was talking to another trainer about these
What's the
sciences.
point?
So I instead do an about face and turn to the audience and speak to you, because it is my mom who does not know she is in menopause. It is your sister who does not know how to mitigate the symptoms of those hot flashes. It is our brother who does not know what testosterone levels mean and why he can't get it up. He's still buying gas station pills. He buying blue pills from Granddaddy Cabinet. And he don't know that
That.
there's actually options that are out there. So it is incumbent upon us who have been blessed to have this knowledge to share this knowledge to those who should have it. And this is why I talk about it in such a practical format. Now, there
Yes.
is a spiritual side to it as well. I do
Yes.
believe I'm definitely charged by God to give this message to his people, which is why I do not use certain vulgarities or explicit imagery, because you should not have to listen to a bunch of explicit language or see crazy images just to receive the message that God would have for you. So that's my personal
And I
platform of why I cover the way
clearly
I.
you don't do that. And clearly I combed your social, right? Like no, no, no. It's not bodies, bodies, bodies. Because again, that also can turn people in another direction, right? When they see this, because again, this is what you do for a living. You have been charged to do this, right? So your body, what you put into it is very different than, as you say, the everyday person, right? Who wants to get fit, wants to be well, right? And so with that, I also saw you talking about fasted cardio and strength training. So let me say, I am, and my trainer hates it, hates it. Jocelyn hates it. I work out fasted, right? I'm not eating till maybe noon, one, and I'm working out at 10. She's like, it's that's insane. We lift heavy in here. Like, what are you talking about? You've got to eat before. And I'm like, I feel sick. I feel vomity. I don't want to do it. So tell me why that's wrong, Big Ronja.
So the human body is extremely adaptable, and I thank God that it's not as sensitive as we think it is. So even if you aren't in the most ideal environment for training, you can still get it done. The trick is are you getting all that you can get done when you're getting it done? So
Optimize.
yes, you're right. You can train with nothing on your stomach, but are you truly getting all out of that session that you
So
could?
what are you saying that I'm missing though? What are you saying
So
that I'm missing?
there's a level of power, strength, and endurance that you are not in because of that. There's also a level of possible catabolic place that you're sliding into. Catabolic is what I told you earlier. That's the opposite of building muscle mass. It is an environment where you are downsizing muscle mass. So, yes, the first thing will be fat levels to decrease, but it's a very slippery slope in that you can easily slide into burning muscle mass as well. As I said earlier, the biggest key thing that we must all be pursuing of after the age of 40
Okay.
is muscle. Because once that muscle goes away, I hate to sound dismal, but it don't come back nowhere near the same. You
Nope.
do not add muscle mass at 42 as you did at 32 or at 22. So it's important to keep that. So she is in fear that you're getting the workout done, but you could possibly not getting the full effect from it or be losing some of that muscle mass, throwing off your body composition. She must answer for that. Ultimately, here, you may drop those 30 pounds you talked about earlier, but those 30 pounds are no good if those 30 pounds weren't accounted for in fat. 30 pounds of muscle mass looks completely
Yes,
different. A
it
pear
does.
shaped man can lose 10 pounds the wrong way. Great, he's now 10 pounds lighter, but he's still pear shaped. What good is it? The same pear shaped man can lose 5 pounds the proper way and is no longer pear shaped. It was only five, but it was the five that he should have lost. Fat, not muscle.
So what does that look like? So here I am. I'm somebody team we're on team fasted workout, right? And you're saying, nope, we're not doing that anymore. You need to eat before you come into this gym, right? Clearly 2 to 3 hours or 2 hours before. But what does that look like? So am I eating chicken? Because I'll eat anything at any time of the day, right? I don't eat eggs and all the rest of it. But what is somebody eating? What would
So
somebody
your
eat?
body, so your gas tank is not completely depleted. The amount of stored glycogen, which is just energy in the muscle, is not completely depleted. But you aren't all that well backed up into the workout. So about 15, 20 minutes in, you could be running on fumes. So there's no need for a full meal. Something to help you out. Your body's going to be powered off of that carb for that workout. So if I could have you take in any one thing, it will at least be some form of a complex carb of some sort. I would say if you just really can't put food on your stomach, can you at least get me a half English muffin in, maybe some light preserve across that, and then get the workout going? But you have got to get to that recovery meal soon thereafter.
Okay, so somebody said it's hard to eat pre 4:30 a.m. workout.
Yeah. So with that being said, and this is the rude answer, or not rude, but it's the hard answer. Maybe you're not a 4:30 workout kind of person. Then I want to drive my car to my job. I love driving this car to my job, but I don't have enough time to get gas.
Look
Okay,
at that.
okay,
Look at that.
drive that car to that job because you don't have enough time to properly fuel that car to get to that job.
So you're saying we're making excuses?
Now, I ain't saying making excuses, but you just might not be in position to do what you think you want to do because you
I
thought
like.
that you wanted to drive that car across town, but you don't have time to get gas.
So we're if we're going in for, because we're saving cardios after. Nobody's doing cardio before, right? Like we right. So we're lifting first. We're getting that in, but before we get there, we're gonna have something complex: sweet potato.
That works. That's convenient in the car. You cook that sweet potato the night before, and
Yeah,
while
yeah.
you're driving, chew on that. And if you're someone who says I get sick when I eat before I work out, let's revisit what you ate before you worked out. Maybe what you ate was an issue. So maybe you're not a fried rice kind of person. Maybe you're not a whole breakfast burrito kind of person. Maybe you're a Thomas English muffin person. Maybe you're a sweet potato kind of person. But whatever it is, revisit your pre-workout meal. I know what makes me feel best. Oatmeal is my go-to. Ooh, I'm so powerful when I have oatmeal. So I know oatmeal is my go-to meal. You know your go-to meal. It's part of a journey. And if Monday didn't work too well, there's Tuesday. Let's try Tuesday, something different.
So you're trying
Wednesday,
things that work.
something different. But find out what works best for you. We're quick to say everyone's body is different. Okay, cool. We'll find out what's different about yours and go forward with that.
And go forward with that. All
Everybody's
right.
body is different. You're right. Now figure out what's different about
Right.
yours and go
And get
forward
fixed.
with that.
So here we are. We're now eating we're going to eat pre workout. But you mentioned one of the three pillars is recovery. So part of that recovery, right, is what you're eating post. Go. What are we doing?
So post recovery, I'm gonna have to have something to rebuild those muscles. When I'm working out, I'm creating small micro tears in my muscle. It's gonna come back bigger, stronger. It is a cyclical process. So a process starts off bicep curl, bicep curl, bicep curl, bicep curl, bicep curl. Now I go home. I give my body what it needs to repair those biceps. What are those biceps made of? Protein. Protein, 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 sleep, protein, protein, sleep. The process is now complete. I have torn it down. I have recovered it. It comes back bigger, stronger in preparation for what it knows is going to happen next week. It's simple law facilitation, knowing what's going to come, the
Oh,
body prepare for it to happen again. So it comes back bigger, stronger, bigger, stronger. It is a cyclical
so
process,
it's
but we must complete
protein though.
the
It's protein.
process.
It's protein.
The answer, sorry. It is a cyclical process.
Okay.
Protein and sleep. Break it down. Protein and sleep. A red brick house. A red brick house is made of red bricks. You tear down that far wall, you need more red bricks to rebuild it. And
Okay.
that, make sure the protein's always present to stay in that anabolic environment. So I'm completing the process of muscle building on a routine basis.
I mean, again, somebody just said, Wildflower said, gosh, you made that sound so simple. And this is all applicable to our menopause, perimenopause, and menopause women, right? So we're saying we are going to start eating pre-workout. That really freaks me out, but that means I'm going to stop eating earlier. So that's fine, right? I'm not going to be eating till 8 o'clock at night. We're not
And
doing.
and going to bed earlier. So I need ample time for the body to really complete that process. The most recovery of your system happens when you're actually sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I'm a sleeper.
central
I'm not worried
nervous
about that.
system has to repair itself just like those muscles have to repair themselves. So you've got to get good sleep. But we all know in that perimenopausal, menopausal point in life, sleep don't come easy. So don't you dare lay down with 7 hours thinking you're going to get 7 hours. You might have to budget out 8 to get 7. We know how this part goes.
Mm-hmm.
At
Mm-hmm.
the same time, because of the food you're eating being recovery fuel, that recovery fuel isn't the fuel that made us fat. It ain't it. So we're okay to eat as the day goes on. We're okay to still eat 6, 7 o'clock at night. We were sold an idea in the 90s that you had to cut off food at a certain time in your day. If you're driving your car through the night, you don't cut off the fuel coming to it before you get to your destination. You're going to still need
Say,
gas.
Ron Jones.
So we still
Say that one
recovering,
more
ain't we?
time. One more time, Ron. Say it again.
If you're on your journey, this is a journey, right? And your
Yup.
journey is towards your actual goal. You don't turn off that car, excuse me, turn off the fuel line before you arrive at your point. You still need what the machine needs for that engine to still work. So you got to still have fuel, recovery fuel. Your human body, for those who didn't catch that, it's going to still need recovery fuel. So at nighttime, yes, you're still going to need recovery fuel. You will. So It's okay to still eat. It's fine.
I don't want okay. I don't. I feel like okay. I don't want to keep you. I don't want to have you. I don't want to belabor this nutrition piece, right?
Oh, well, we
But
know this is where it's at. This is the bulk of it.
I know,
This is
I know.
80% of it.
But okay. So here we are. We work out pre. I mean, we're eating pre. We're fueling with protein after.
Hmm.
Okay, right? And is that protein? Is that protein with a complex carb, or what's happening? Just protein.
Absolutely. So everyone talks about macronutrients. Macronutrients.
Mhm.
Macronutrients is three things: protein, carb, and fat. They're all essential to the processes that we're going through. I mentioned protein the most because we oftentimes fall short on protein.
Always.
So we put the
Yeah.
protein first, for sure. Then
Yeah.
we build off of that protein. So we do things like we add a carbohydrate to that. Fats are also important, but fats can also be picked up when you're chasing that protein. So I would encourage you, especially
Mm.
us both of the melanated sort, to
Right.
take some healthy fats by way of things like fish. Fish is a great balance of omega 3, 6, and 9. These are healthy fats. As I said earlier, though, healthy fats are what maintain the integrity of our endocrine system, which is ebbing and flowing right now,
Ebbing
right?
and flowing.
So we need to have proper fats in place. So something like salmon will give you protein and healthy fat. Avocado, make your own guacamole if you like to.
Mhm.
Put it with all your salads, a big dollop, healthy fats. You want some cashews or some almonds? Throw it there with it. Your eggs in the morning time, stop throwing that whole yellow away. That yellow
Who
has
does that?
healthy fat that you
Who's
need.
doing
People are
that? If you're gonna eat eggs, you gotta eat
yellow.
the yolk.
You need that yolk. Get some of that yolk in there. If you don't want to do the full yolks, I get it. Go ahead and pour yourself about a quarter cup of egg whites and crack two whole eggs inside of there. There is valuable nutrients in that yellow.
Where did that come from? Where people don't want to eat the yolk?
Unfortunately, here in the 90s, it was the wild, wild west, and they sold us all kinds of
They like
ideas. And low
low
fat,
fat.
no fat was the sell. Low fat, no fat was the sell of the 90s.
Yes,
So
that's true.
everything to this day still says no fat. And everyone believed that that fat was a fat that was going to put fat on us, and it was not that fat. It was commercials and marketing. The same reason you had all your celebrities wearing milk mustaches that are pushing dairy onto everybody. Even us
Yeah,
black folks, as
yeah.
lactose intolerant as we were trying our hardest to eat yogurt and trying our hardest to drink milk because they told us to. Knowing good and well, lactose means sugar, milk sugar. It don't sit well
And
with us. We're second to Asian.
adults really shouldn't be drinking milk.
We
That's
don't have
like
to. If you want to indulge and enjoy it, I get it, but you don't have to. But lactose just don't sit well with black folks,
and
second to Asians.
you spoke about rest and eat, Dr. Shield. Everybody's mentioning magnesium, and I'm a huge like I take magnesium glycinate all day, quite frankly, and then take it at night before I go to bed, along with vitamin D. And I'm talking about it, and of course, Dr. Sheila knows this. With that progesterone, it sings you a lullaby. It's like you can count backwards 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and it's like you're out. Like, and I mean, I sleep solid. So I want to make sure we touch on this also, that you're doing nothing, all of the work in the world, lifting weights, all eating right. And if you don't sleep and you don't rest your body, guess what? You're doing so much damage. Am I right, Big Ron Jones?
You're actually working against yourself. In fact, as Sheila was alluding to earlier, if you are sending your body into a physiological stress, I ain't talking about your mind, your body goes into a physiological stress. There's a stress hormone called cortisol.
Oh my God.
That
Don't even,
cortisol is sit right here.
right in that gut. That's right.
Right here in a hormonal place. So if you find yourself, man, I'm busting my behind. I'm getting up and I'm doing 4 miles of cardio. I'm sleeping 4 hours and getting up and going doing cardio. I'm taking a nap in the middle of the day. That's not real quality sleep.
Mm-mm.
And your physiologic body is responding with stress. And if you're a man, it's going to your center section. If you're a woman, it's going to your center section. It's also going to go to your breast if you're a woman. But let me tell you something, the elasticity of your breast, 40 plus, it ain't the same. So them breasts might get bigger, but let me tell you something, they're not sitting weak to chin no more. So you do not want to add that fat because that fat will sit in that center section, fill out those breasts some more, but it's not the same deposition as when we were in our
No, it
20s.
is not.
Now,
Everything is different. E- The minute you turn that corner, right, and everything seems to be going okay, and then those levels are just tanking.
for the absolute encouragement of our audience, I want everyone to know that it is not that life is harder. It's just that no one has told us that the
The
rules
rules.
have additional guidelines. So there's not a lot more, there isn't a bunch more things that we can't do. There's additional things that we should do. And that's the difference. Is that now that we are older, the same rules apply, but there are additional things that we should be doing as well. Making sure we seek more protein, making sure we seek more healthy fat, making sure we seek more sleep. Consistency is the key at this point in life. We've lived through our teens, through our 20s, through our 30s. If we were consistently not doing right, the chickens come home to roost right around now. You can begin to see that. But it doesn't mean all is lost. We
No.
can consistently, starting now, consistently make the mindful decisions on food, consistently make mindful decisions on cardio, consistently make mindful decisions on strength training. And we can actually still pursue and receive the bodies we wanted. Or we can consistently keep the same thing up and watch this thing now begin to.
And be dead by 50. I mean, I'm just saying, like, and I'm just saying, because it's happening, right? Like, I mean, it's, first of all, there's so many things that occur to that from 20, 30 years of eating poorly, etc., where your body starts to give out, right? Like I always say that, and again, and I want to be clear what I'm about to say. I'm not fat shaming anybody. I'm not, listen, I'm talking about myself and and actually I'm talking about what I know. Too much weight on the joints, all right? Too much weight on the joint, too much fat and what have you. It can cause a problem. I'm speaking to it. The ankles, your knees, it can become problematic. Even the function out like with your hips, it makes a difference, right? Carrying this kind of weight at this age is a lot. It's
You're
too
saying you're
much.
saying can because you're trying to be nice, but I'm going to go ahead and talk a little more square forward because we know who's in the room.
Okay, go
It
ahead.
will.
Okay.
If you bought a brand new 2024 Toyota Camry, you can load that Toyota Camry down with 10 cords of wood and it's going to drive okay. But trust me, inside of the first few months, after a few years, it's going to wear that suspension slap out. Your body's the same way. Over time, that negative weight is going to wear that suspension slap out. Ankles, knees, hips, those joints will begin to degrade because you are wearing them out. Again, I am not speaking about death, doom, and destruction. I just want to encourage us all to be real about where we're at now in life so as we can take control of this because in our 40s, it is way easier than it is in our
Yes.
50s,
Yeah, Dr. Sheila
and
said
so on and so
different,
forth.
not worse. Dr. Sheila said it's just different, not worse, just
It's
different.
just
It's
different.
just,
It's not worse, it's different. And that's what we're here for. We are
yeah.
here to let us know what's different.
And catch,
It's
and
fun.
the reason why I know why I see what you're doing, right? The reason why I jumped, I started Shift Her because I, I found myself to be pretty astute and educated as it relates to wellness, etc., for myself. And obviously I was not, right? And I can't imagine how many people, right, that are going through perimenopause, menopause, or whatever, any kind of hormonal shift or health issues, that they don't understand that they're in control, that you could actually make seismic shifts at 40, 50, 60, 70, seismic shifts just by doing simple things like you said, right? Like looking at your nutrition 100%, 100% looking at it, right? I made the decision to stop drinking alcohol. That was for Stacy, okay? Because I felt like it wasn't adding any value to my square. It just was not. As a matter of fact, I felt like it was taking away, right? At this juncture in my life. So I got rid of that, right? Making small changes, getting in the gym, hiring a professional. I'm the queen of outsourcing. So
Yeah, me
I
too.
don't have, I'm not an expert in it. I'm not an expert in cleaning my house. So guess what? Somebody comes to clean.
On handle it.
I'm not an expert at washing my car. Guess what? My husband's not going to do it because that's just who he is. Guess what? I'm going to take it someplace. He got somebody come to the house to wash it. Fine, right? I don't know. My degree is not in exercise physiology, whatever. Okay. So guess what? I'm going to get somebody who is educated, and I encourage people. Again, I know the budgets, etc., but I encourage you to go someplace like a Planet or whatever, right, Ron, where there's always somebody around that can guide you, etc., so that you do the right things by yourself, right? Because you're in control, like somebody like yourself. Tell folk about specifically that don't know you, don't follow you, specifically what you do.
I am a learned personal trainer since college graduation in 2006, training in person with people, helping them to reach their goals, whatever that goal may be.
Mhm.
Sorry about that.
Right?
I'm a
Yep.
learned personal trainer, but now I'm on the online space. I am
Mhm.
a personal trainer online who has influence. I'll say that part again.
You do.
I'm not an influencer who personal trains on the side. I am a personal trainer who has influence online.
Mhm.
What I'm doing now, though, is how this really works is I give tons of information out on all channels. We're about 1 million deep on TikTok for the young folks or whoever wants to be on TikTok. We're about 1 million plus on Facebook. Here alone, we're about 500,000 plus, and we're YouTube deep. I am everywhere giving information out because I want you to know you can be empowered to go forward in handling your own journey. And I'm going to prove to you by telling you about yourself. And you say, man, this guy got a lot of information. You know what? Let me go ahead and hire him to handle my journey. So if you're someone who wants to outsource, I'm here for you. If not, in the meantime, I got information all over my pages to help you handle this, is
And
what
you
this
do
is about.
fine. So you are able, which I'm so intrigued by, and I told you this. I am so, and you're so efficient and professional. You actually train people online,
Yes.
virtually,
So what
and you
happens
don't.
is
Wait a minute. But here's the key. You know what I'm going to say. You are not in that session with that person, so there is full accountability on that person's part. You're giving them all the tools, right? These are the workouts you're going to do. You connect them to your nutritionist, right? You have all these tools on your pages that you give people access to once they pay you, right? And then you're the accountability stick. Is that correct?
simple as that. Your first 6 weeks, the first week you sign on, you are scheduled to speak with my nutritionist because your meal plan matters. Soon thereafter, within a day or two, we're on the phone because I got to hear from you explicitly what your goals are and what you're after. From there, I'm tailoring the video guided training that I already issued you. One is going to be done in the gym, or you can follow one that's going to be done from home. You get two programs, but all the while, I'm tailoring it to make sure we're reaching your actual goal. You are accountable to me. I'm a ball hog. So if I'm not getting results from you, I need you to let me know what's going on. I know what my program is doing in your life because I talk to you.
Okay.
So I'm gonna revisit what I'm doing. Don't go ask Jane or John. You come to me. I know what I'm doing. So I'm gonna tell you, well, let me revisit this part and this part and this part. Let's carry forth. I am a stress-free kind of person though, which means we're gonna cross these hurdles as they come together. But worrying about it before it gets here, that's just anxiety.
Right. We're not there.
So bring you, man, in this world, there's so much that we don't control. I want us to control something. And your
Correct.
health and wellness is one of those. And as far as us go, those who say, man, there's so many inequalities in the healthcare system. Well, how about this then? If you're doing all that you should be doing on your own, when you see that physician, they've got to go one step further. They can't tell you to go home and eat cleaner. Go do some more cardio.
And they wouldn't tell you that anyway. So
You say, I'm already doing it. Bam. And show them this. Now they go further than that. If not, they're going to start where you could have started off on your own, watching your diet, mindful eating, watching your cardio.
huh.
And this
So
is actually at the same time here to make sure there's no pressure. I don't hover. That first transaction you make, 249, awesome. You're on board. You're with me.
wait, it's 249
And I
for
and I do that on purpose because let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I was training, and I was only training elites. If you look into my actual accounts, there's a lot of celebrities, a lot of athletes. I was only training them and their wives or their husbands, and I wanted to take this mission to the everyday person. And
mhm.
249, and after that, it's 199 every 6 weeks if you want to continue forward. That is something that is an investment for some, but it's not completely unattainable for those who want to try it. Does that make sense? So does it work
uh
anymore? it does work me more. But let me tell you something also. I have and I am a sponsored athlete. So these companies are paying me to please look into their product. And if I think it's okay, I say, you know what, guys, this product is okay. And they got a chance to be in front of my audience. Does that make
It
sense?
makes perfect sense. Listen. Again, I'm so intrigued, as I told you, with your model, your business model. I love it, and I feel like the again the reason why I had you on was because I think your knowledge base is like crazy. As Dr. Sheila said, she said in the comments, she said he needs to go to medical school. And I agree 1,000%, right? But neither here nor there. I just feel like people that don't know who you are needed to know who you are, and that there's a huge and valuable resource out there that honestly for women that you understand women, and I think that that's what was important to me, that you and you're no nonsense, like you're really about the accountability, right? But you also have empathy at the same time, knowing that this is not the easiest time. So you're not coming at us like you're, guess what, you're not doing what you need to be doing, whatever. You're like, okay, so there's some physiological things that are happening, right, that you can't change, right? That's happening, it's going to happen, but here's the things you can do to thwart, right, and circumvent those things. Like you made the comment about obesity isn't forever,
It's not.
and it
It's
blew
not.
my mind. It blew my mind. Another thing that blew my mind, because again, what this country says is obese is one thing, right? What medically what they say is obese, but the reality is that if you're pre-diabetic, you're probably obese.
We don't
Probably.
We don't need an antiquated chart to tell us that. We
No.
see ourselves at least twice a day naked in the mirror. We go to sleep, we're on the phone, we're walking and talking, trying to walk and talk. We know what fit this year, what didn't fit last year. We know if we're out of breath. We know if we're skinny fat. We know all these things about ourselves. I don't need a physician to tell me that. With that being said, give me whatever title you want to give me, but do know that the reality is still understood by me, and the efforts to control, change, or reverse that are also on me. But that's the empowering part I want to give to everyone. They said you're obese, you're overweight. All that means is that your muscle mass to fat isn't quite right. That's all that
That's
means.
all.
Does it look sexually hot to someone? Perhaps it does. But let me tell you something. You're not here for that person's sexual gratification. You're here
Mhm.
for your health. I don't care how it looks on you. It's your health.
That's right.
Your health span
That's right.
has to rival your lifespan. So empowering you to control and own that. Let me tell you something. My own sisters had difficulties with pregnancy, and they had later in life pregnancies, 40 plus having IVF. My own mother last year went through a double mastectomy after being diagnosed with breast cancer.
God
You
bless her.
know, so what I'm saying is dealing with my own wife. I'm holding her hand in college before she has her first ovulectomy because she had tumors. There's real people out here who are really suffering and going through these things.
Yes.
The knowledge base of knowing what they can do to improve or even give
Yes.
them outlook on positivity can be given by professionals like ourselves. So we have to use our platforms to help them. They might come back and reward you with money for doing that. Hey, can you be my trainer? Awesome. It's a great transaction. If not, I've still done my job, which has made your life easier. And I'm going to also go to your page if you're a tax or if you're automotive or if you're a mechanic, and I'm going to learn from what you do professionally also. But this is my godly charge, and this is my platform to do what I'm supposed to do, which is to help you out as well.
I
We
love
all want health. The whole world wants it. There isn't a single person on earth who doesn't want health. There isn't a
not
single person who doesn't want it.
no.
If you don't believe me, wait till you lose it.
Okay. See, and I'm sure even Dr. Sheila can speak to this as well, right? I subscribe to functional medicine, integrative medicine. I personally do. That's where my
I love
providers
it.
are. Okay. And my challenge is that what you're talking about, you don't necessarily get from Western medicine. They're going to say, here's Monjaro, here's this, here's that. They're not going to say, you can get rid of this diabetes right now. Do yourself a favor, right? Let me tell you something. And so be transparent. What year is this? 2024. In 2017, my doctor said you're pre-diabetic. I was working out like a monster,
Hmm.
right? I said, she's like, well, what about, we'll prescribe you. I said, what? Give me 3 months and then we can talk about it. I came back 3 months later. All I did was did the research, locked it. My trainer was like, all right, nope, here's what you need to do. And I was like, whoa, just from nutrition, right? Our grandparents and even parents talk about sugar. They call it, sugar diabetes, whatever. Like everybody had it.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. I'm
You
sorry.
didn't walk into a room without somebody saying that they had diabetes. Everybody had it, right? It is so preventable. High blood pressure, so preventable. Like you talked about it about dandelion root today. Dandelion root will lower that blood pressure. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So I feel like people don't. Yes, doctors are necessary. I'm a big advocate, but I do feel that people like yourself that have this well-rounded knowledge base are helpful to people like yourself, right? And you're a compliment to the physician, right? Like you're helping them out actually, right? And actually making it kind of difficult for them because you're getting these people off of their prescriptions, right? The
And
diabetes medication, the high blood pressure.
that's what it's for. We were given, I believe in medical breakthroughs and medical science. Me and you both do, right? We're issued all kinds of things that can help us out, but we are not to live on these things.
No.
They're given to us to buy us more time. So they gave you that high blood pressure medication to buy you time to get it right, not as something you're supposed to live on. So in the meantime, let's get it right so we can come off of that. So the whole idea behind this is giving you an exit strategy. We
I
all understand.
an
We all understand, but it's all about an exit strategy. We don't want to be here and stay here. Unfortunately, when it comes to our people, us being so traditional, is we believe that what mama and them went through, we've got to go through. They called it sugar back then. And then we went off and right along with them, the same concept. We end up putting the same weight on that they put on in a negative way. We ended up with the same idea of these skin tags and every sign there is of having insulin issues, even going so far as to have our foot cut off. And once we went blind or we died, we celebrated what killed this person with the exact same thing that killed this person,
yes,
a big of the same death food,
yes.
and they continue to cycle. I want to let us know that we can break these cycles, but still be traditional in who we are. We can still be traditional in who we are. You can still cook a pot of collard greens. I encourage you to. It's phytonutrients. But what's wrong with a smoked turkey leg? You ain't got to have a ham hock in there.
We don't.
But it's these small things we can do that can change our
Right,
world if
right.
we only knew.
Smoked turkey wing. Have some kale. Switch it up, mustard greens or whatever. Right? Like there's options.
Stop, Ronald.
I don't want to keep you on any longer, right? But I do want to ask you this. You said something about new rules to live by.
Yeah.
Why don't you, like, let's kind of end on that. Like, so for you, Big Ron Jones, you're successful at what you do, right? And you're passionate about it, and it's clearly a God mission. Um, and you want people to be better. How do we create, make this our like mantra? Like how do we make this word things to live by? Like what are the things that we need to live by and internalize it and live it?
Okay. Let's speak specifically to us 35, 40
Okay.
plus. Three things every Sunday to have mapped out for the full week.
Mm-hmm.
Know when and where you're going to do at least 3 sessions of cardio. That's all I want.
Okay. Look at
When
that.
and where. Might be outdoors in the morning time, which I encourage you to do.
Mm-hmm.
Some good sun on your skin, walk outdoors, or go to Planet Fitness, whatever it is. I just want you to know on Sunday what 3 days you're going to do what 3 sessions of cardio. Just some nice little walk, wherever it may be. I
Mm-hmm.
want you to also know what major muscles you're going to train and where. It might be some resistance bands in your own living room. At my own website, I sell a resistance band program, or on my YouTube, whatever it is. Know what major muscles you're going to train and how you're going to get it done inside of 3 days between Monday and Friday. Also, be mindful of when and where you're going to get your protein, carb, and fat sources from, which means mindful eating. I didn't tell you that you're never going to have another type of sweet potato pie or angel food cake or a red devil cake, German chocolate cake, whatever it is, but you're going to hold off whatever that is that you know got you to a point of unhealth until at least the weekend. So the discipline and structure of the business week is what I want. Monday through Friday, I want business structure to make sure we get cardio in, strength training, and mindful eating. Being about business during a business week.
Okay. And then what about the weekends?
The weekend, I want to make sure you're still taking in what you know you need to. But if I say, you know what, I'm gonna have some scrambled eggs, but I'm instead have some pancakes Saturday morning. Cool, do that Saturday morning. But don't skip that protein and only have the pancakes. You want to have a hamburger on the grill? That's cool. You want to have some cake with that hamburger? That's cool. But do not skip that protein-rich hamburger and only have that cake. There's no benefit there. So you can have these indulgences adjunct second to the primary. I say cake because that's my thing,
It's
but
coming.
no. But I
It's
want you
coming.
to, I want you to
It's coming.
know, I want you to be introspective. I want everyone under the sound of my voice to be introspective for a moment. Figure out, say to yourself out loud or to yourself out loud or in your head, excuse me, what did you overdo to reach a point of unhealth? It may have been overindulgence in alcohol. It may have been candy. It may have been overindulgence in soul food like cornbread and gravy. Whatever it is, though, find what it was and remove that from your business week for a moment. You
Okay.
can't remove that. Do know that that's your charge going forward. If not, that's going to be what's going to take you out of here. And if you can't remove that, that that. I won't sound too harsh, but that's going to be your. Listen, that's your thing to work on. How about that? That's your vice. That's your vice. If you wanted to ever fast from anything, never no mind the fast the pastor told you about. That matters, but your fast is what is binding you. If
Mm,
super syrupy,
mm,
super perverted coffee with cream and sugar is
mm.
your thing, remove that. If you can't remove that, that's what you should be fasting from. It don't do you no good to fast from Cheetos if that ain't your thing. If alcohol is your thing, then you remove that alcohol. If you being gluttonous in any one department's your thing, then so be it. And it might not be food. It might be inactivity. It might be sitting back and binge watching Netflix. If you can't walk away from Netflix for a little while to get active, then that is what you need to start to fast from.
So it's
Everyone can't fast from food because food ain't everyone's vice. So find out what your issue was that got you to the place of unhealth, and
mhm.
let me remove that for the next week, at least business week. Now you're empowered. If not, that got power on you to include rubbing on that car all day or outside pruning that garden. And it might even be your kids. If you can't put some structure in place to not be a slave to the children's needs or to your spouse's needs, then that's what you need to work on. I didn't say remove that. I said put parameters to control that. And it's going to be a journey. So you're going to work on that.
Oh my,
And you're going to get to that place of health and wellness. Health and wellness. That's mental as well.
that's right. Because wellness is a state of being.
It
Right?
is.
So, like, Ron, like, okay, you could have a master class and a TED talk separately. All right. I feel like I have to have you back on because there's so many things to unpack.
I'm with it.
I so appreciate your time because I know you are super busy. You have a lovely family, and I know that they are a priority. So I'm cutting into their time. So I want to say thank you. Yes, I want to say everybody go follow Big
Big
Ron
Ron Jones. I'm
Jones.
there. Every
Every
platform, I'm there. I'm there.
platform he's there, and there are a lot of duplicates out there on
Oh, look out
TikTok.
for the dupes. Yeah, there's some dupes. So if
But
it's
he has a
not,
million followers, so on TikTok. So guess
yeah,
what?
make sure each one of the platforms is truly me. Facebook, make sure it's got that verified check next to it. We're a million plus, but there's some people who are trying to get in front of my audience. The audience of you is extremely valuable. It's so valuable that they're trying to duplicate you. You're the audience who is emotionally tied to their health. And they know to get in front of you is all the world. They can sell you anything. They can sell you any kind of medication. They can sell you any kind of quick pill, anything to help you separate yourself from what has bound you for so long. So
But
look out for that stuff, you guys.
I
You
also
guys are
want
valuable to these companies. I'm telling you, you got the money. You're the working class.
that is correct. And let me tell you something. They feed off of it. They PREY.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want everybody, and I want especially the women, perimenopausal, menopausal women. If the gym is a problem for you, Ron is telling you he has an online program. He can work with the bands. Okay. He can work with the dumbbells at home. He is going to educate you and get you there, right? And I'll be honest with you, the price tag on this thing, it's almost like he can't afford not to. Like I'm like, well, maybe I just need to pick up some extra too. Like I'm like, what's happening here? Like such a fair price for what you're doing, and also to build that confidence to be able to do things on your own. To me is so important because as I said, I'm an outsourced person, and I have to physically have somebody waiting for me at
Mm-hmm.
the. That's why I'm there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just want everybody to lock in what Ron is saying. One, two, go follow him. Three, if you're looking for a personal trainer, an online personal trainer, you could be anywhere in the country or the world, quite frankly, and you can work with Big Ron Jones, an expert, an educated, let's be clear, educated, not information, educated academically and with experience doing this to help you reach your goals. And give me the registered tagline there. What is the
Big
registered?
Ron Jones with practical advice for your real world goals. It is a
And we
federal trademark, federally registered with the trade, excuse me, federally trademarked,
that is a
registered
huge,
truly.
huge deal. Congratulations. And we will end on that. Thank you, Big
Thank
Ron Jones.
you for
And
having me. Talk to you
you're
afterwards.
all right.
I'll call you.
Soon.
Bye bye.
Bye, guys.